Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to announce, but we are going to be reviewing the new Artemis palette from Alter Ego. So you guys want to see what my thoughts are, what type of look I create, well then definitely keep on watching. So exciting. I have not reviewed a palette from Alter Ego since actually I think December, and I got an email the other day saying, hey Allie, just want to let you know that the new Artemis palette is on its way to you right now. It does launch this Thursday, July 30th, and it retails for $22. And the fact that it's here, I literally just got out of the shower and I got a knock on my door and I was like, oh my gosh, and I went in and I was like, oh my god, my package is here. This is kind of so cool to get like a palette prior to launch. It makes me feel like a real booty guru. So in this little box, they did send this palette over along with a bunch of lashes right here. I actually really do love Alter Ego lashes. They're very, very soft on the eye. You barely feel them on you whatsoever, and they're just really, really beautiful. And they literally sent over so many lashes, which I've actually gone through almost all of my Alter Ego lashes, so they're so nice that they're in here. And what I'm really, really excited about is this palette right here. Now, this is a 28-piece eyeshadow palette, and this does retail for $22. And like I said, it does roll out this Thursday, July 30th. Now, if you guys don't already know, I actually do have a discount code with Alter Ego. It is code Dawson10, which will save you guys 10% off your entire purchase. Now, it is an affiliate code, so I do make a small commission off of it, but at least you guys are saving 10%, so feel free to use it if you want. Don't if you want. That's completely up to you, but I'm excited to see this. First off, this is freaking huge. The packaging is just so freaking beautiful. We're also going to ignore the fact that I have a guest today, and my guest is Bob. He decided to make a comeback on my face, and he decided to come back with vengeance. I think he's kind of pissed at me because I spent, I don't know, the majority of the last 2 days picking at him, trying to pop him, and I don't think he really appreciates it, but he's sure as hell leaving his damn mark on my face. All right, so the packaging right here feels so soft and smooth, very, very beautiful. I love the hunter green. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love in the back, it does have all the shadow names right there. And then when you guys do open it up, that is beautiful. This is the eyeshadow palette right here. Now, I'm sure you guys are saying this looks super familiar. Well, this is like almost an exact dupe to the Natasha Denona Metropolis eyeshadow palette right here. Now that eyeshadow palette, I think it has the same amount of shadows in there, but I believe that that palette retails for like $120. Now, I never got my hands on that palette because it is just so expensive, but I remember Teresa's Dead did a review on it and she did not care for that palette whatsoever. So I'm super, super glad that they made a dupe to it because this retails for $22, which is literally a third of the cost. Now, of course, I could sit here and swatch all the shades, but there are 28 shadows. That's a lot of swatching. Very, very much, it's a lot of swatching. So I think for today, we're just gonna play around some color, put on some lashes, use their brushes, and just have some fun with this. What I really do love about Alter Ego, and I know some people out there are really against using like a dupe brand or copycat brand, and trust me, I was right there with you for so long. I never believed in using a brand that kind of copied off other people's original creations. However, when Alter Ego reached out to me, asking if I want to try their stuff, I decided to give them a chance, and it is one of the best things I've ever did because their formulas are just so freaking amazing. Like, they perform so well. They're so pigmented. The shadows blend out beautifully. The shimmers have such pigmentation to it. And I've compared these to the original formula of like the Natasha Denona, for example, or like Huda Beauty, and they perform the same, if not better, for literally a third of the cost. So I definitely ate my own words when it came to talking shit about copycat brands, and I'm so grateful that I did because I truly, truly do enjoy Alter Ego, and I actually love the fact this palette right here has such a huge mirror, so really nice. Say hello! Hello, people! I know some people get irritated when they don't swatch a palette, but there's 28 shadows on here, and I'm pretty sure you guys can find other reviews of people swatch all the shadows. But I also don't really care for swatches, and the only reason why is just because it swatches well does not mean it's going to perform well on the eye, or vice versa. It can swatch horribly, but perform phenomenally on the eye. So I can't base everything off of swatches. That's why I don't really do swatches that often. But looking at this palette, I mean, y'all know that this is like my palette. This is everything that I've ever wanted in a palette. It's all the golds and the oranges and the yellows with a pop of color here and there, like a pop of blue here and there, but like the greens and the golds, oh, bitch, this is what I live for. Oh God, now I gotta decide what to do for an eye look. Okay, so I will say this color, Stealth, right here. It's like this deep, deep green. I actually thought that was gonna be really, really nice, like mattified green. Nope, it is actually a shimmer topper. That's a little disappointing because I feel like there is just a ton of shimmers in here. Now I know that's the same way that it was for the Natasha Denona palette, but I like having a lot more mattes than having shimmers because I just feel like there needs to be an equal balance, and I feel like this palette has a little bit too much shimmers to it. So trying to create a really beautiful dimensional look I feel like might be a little bit more difficult, but we're definitely gonna go for it and try to do the best that we can. Okay, so the first shadow I want to play with is this shade Scent right here. It's like this beautiful like duochrome shift, and again it's a shimmer. There's so many shimmers in this palette. I think it's because Natasha Denona had the exact same thing where it's like all shimmers. That's a little irritating because like I said, I don't play around with any of her palettes, honestly. I have a few, but I just feel like her palettes are just so expensive. It's just really, really hard for me to play around with them all. But this is laying down so nicely. I like really want to play around with like the greens. It just, I feel like I play around with those shadows so much, but I just really can't help it. I just think they look so beautiful in the eye that it's really, really hard for me to not want to play around with those shadows. All right, the next color I'm gonna go into is the shade Stealth, because I want to go for like a deeper shade. I will definitely say these pan sizes are pretty small. Put this on my finger. Whoa, that is like barely laying down there. Oh no, okay, okay. All right, well, let's try it with a wet brush. I'm gonna go in with the number 5 brush from Alter Ego. Let me go ahead and spray a setting spray on this. Maybe this might give it more pigment. I definitely think using a wet brush really helps to bring out the color. I think applying with your finger is not the best way to go, which is really weird because in all their other similar formulas, I've never had this issue before. But I don't know if it's because they're trying to emulate what Natasha Denona did. I'm not sure, but definitely different formula from their other palettes. So maybe it's the type of formula, but if you guys look right here, it like moves around almost like it's putty, or like it's like a, I don't know how to describe it. It moves and shifts. Like it's just like putty. I feel like that's the best way to put it. It's definitely very unique. I've never experienced a shimmer like that before. And it's not the easiest to blend, like at all. See, so we're taking the other one. So we're gonna go into the shade Bow next. And we're gonna try to make this work. Again, this is like such a unique formula. I am struggling. I don't like this in the slightest. I feel like I'm struggling so hard with this formula. I don't know what it is, why it's so different from all their other shimmers, but this is just something that I'm truly struggling with. And just to show you how hard I was digging into that shade, look at that. That is just really, really bizarre to me. And I know, like, I saw Tracy's Dead struggle with this in her Natasha Denona palette with like this type of issue, but like, I don't know. I guess I just thought the shimmers would be like an actual shimmer. These are like putty almost, so they're not performing the way that I want them to. So I'm gonna have to try something else. It's just really unfortunate because there really aren't that many shades to work with. You know what? I'm gonna break my rule and actually swatch the colors for you because I feel like that's the best way to try all these formulas. Okay, so right here we have the very top row. They swatched really, really nicely. I didn't have any issues with the top row. I wonder if it's just more so the bottom. So I'm going to swatch the second row. Alrighty, this is the second row right here. Again, not too bad with the shimmers. This matte though didn't want to perform that well, but here is the second row. Alright, this is the third row right here. This is the shade Bow that I've been having a little bit of trouble with, but this is the third row. Alrighty, this is the last row right here. See the color Stealth, just is a lot lighter on the hand than it is on the actual eye. Beautiful color, and some of these shadows are swatching beautifully, but for some reason Stealth is having like a big issue, so is Bow. But some of the other shadows are not having the issue at all. They're not like, you know, being squished underneath my finger. They're generally just actual shimmer shadows. So I don't know what is going on with those two particular shades, but they're just not wanting to work for me in the slightest. All right, so we're just gonna go for something a little bit more basic, something that I think might work, because there's, like I said, there's very few matte shades in this palette. So we're gonna try something, definitely not what I was going for. We're gonna go into the shade Camouflage right here. Right here. And we're gonna try to just do like a really beautiful orange eye look today or something. Hopefully this will work much better. Oh, that's a really pretty color. See, it lays down so nicely. Then I'm gonna go into the shade Pounce right here. Again, see, these ones don't have that issue. I don't know what's going on with Stealth, but it's definitely not wanting to work with me. And look, see, this looks so much better. Like, this is working so much better. I am going in with my 6 brush right here from Alter Ego. I'm trying to just pack the color in. Oh my god, this color is just freaking fading from my eye. What is happening? What is going on, Alter Ego? Let me spray this brush. Okay, so it seems to be laying down better with a wet brush and not a finger. At first, the finger looks like it'd be great, but then it just starts to fade away. This Pounce color just really doesn't want to stay in the lid. And there's quite a bit of fallout on the face. The pan's getting a little messy, but blending the two together is actually quite nicely, but it just looks so faded. Ooh, this is a challenge. Okay, then I'm gonna go into this shade Snare, this orange shade right here. I feel like I did this orange shade right here. See, now that is beautiful. That has a lot of pigment to it. I feel like this orange shadow ate the middle shadow. Yep. All right, let's take Pounce one more time. Try to pack it in here a little bit to blend the shadows together. This palette is very, very much so not easy to work with. So before I do the other eye off camera, we should decide what style of lashes to do today. I'm really liking how these ones look. This is in the style Celeb, but I also feel like, ooh, these are really pretty. This is these are my favorite lashes from Alter Ego. Like, literally, these are the best, prettiest lashes ever. And I also really like this one called Hipster. This is actually really pretty as well. So I'll decide which one I want to go into, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the face and eye off the camera because I feel like this is just taking so long and I'm really, really struggling with this particular palette. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong. I don't know what the deal is, how to make it work, but I just feel like I'm definitely struggling with it. And the more I dig into these shimmers, the more they're starting to go in, like just like the Stealth. Like if I show you guys right here, like look at Stealth, it's actually already starting to crack. So I really just don't know about this particular palette. Definitely not one of my favorites right now, but yeah, let me go ahead and do the rest of my face and eyes off the camera, guys, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys, and this is the final look. I actually did go in with this style craze today for my lashes. So what are my thoughts on the Artemis palette right here? Well, I really, really appreciate the fact that this is a 28 piece palette. I think that is absolutely phenomenal, especially for the price of $22. Like, you seriously cannot beat that. But I will definitely say that this is not one of my favorite Alter Ego palettes whatsoever. I had such a difficult time with this palette. I had a difficult time with these shimmer shades. They just, it's like playing with putty or like Play-Doh. The way, like, I mean, look at this shade. Stealth, like you can see my indent of my finger just trying to move it around. And while I appreciate the concept of this palette, I really appreciate that it's trying to emulate the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. Like, I really can appreciate that. I had such a difficult time with this palette. I don't know if just because I was applying it wrong, I wasn't applying it correctly, but normally whenever I use any sort of shimmer shadows, I use my finger. And if my finger doesn't work, then I use a wet brush. And I feel like both just struggled tremendously. Like, I tried to do one look and it failed horribly. Then I tried to do this look right here, and you guys can see the matte is already kind of faded, which is really kind of odd because I have played with quite a few of Alter Ego palettes and I've never had this issue before with their palettes. I don't know if they're just trying to emulate the same formula as Natasha Denona. I don't know, but this is a palette that I definitely am struggling with hardcore. Do I think it's beautiful? Absolutely. Do I wish that they had more matte shades in their palette than having shimmers? Oh my god, yeah. I feel like they literally have like 24, 25 shimmers and the rest are all mattes, and I feel like that's kind of a lot for an eyeshadow palette. Now, my favorite palette from Alter Ego is actually the Aurora palette right here. This is such a stunning palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it did mimic the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, and this performed so much better. It has such pigmentation. The shimmers are so different. Like, these shimmers perform like any standard shimmers, like a ColourPop shimmer. So why it's different in the Artemis palette is something that I don't understand. I do know that the Aurora palette is, I think, $16. So is the Goddess palette, which again, a Goddess palette is such a beautiful palette, and it emulates the Natasha Denona Gold palette, but this is the Goddess palette right here. Such a beautiful palette. I love this palette so much. I played around with this a lot. So I was kind of really excited to get my hands on the Artemis palette. I'm thinking, oh my god, this is like such an amazing palette. This is gonna be so cool. And now that I've played around with it, I'm like, this is not the same type of formula that I have experienced with Alter Ego in the past. So I'm not entirely sure what is happening, but this is a palette that I struggled with a lot. So is it worth $22? Well, I'm gonna let that be your personal opinion because it is your money. But just know that I did have some struggles, but just because I had some struggles, it does not mean that you're gonna have any struggles. Some of you out there who probably can make this work for them so much better than I could. And I'm gonna keep playing around with this, maybe try to, you know, figure it out how to make these formulas work and how to like really understand it. So I definitely think this is a really cool idea. It just wasn't executed well in my personal opinion and just didn't work for me personally. And I know this might not be what people want to hear, but I'm always going to give you guys a very honest review. I'm extremely grateful that Alter Ego actually sent this my way. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, it really means the world to me that you guys value my opinion and my honesty, and I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I'm always going to give you guys, like I said, an honest review, whether I'm on PR or not. I'm going to be completely honest, and as cool as this palette is, definitely it did not work for me. But again, it could work for some people out there. It's just something that did not work for me necessarily. So that is something to take note. Like I said, I do have a discount code with Alter Ego. It is code Dawson10, which will save you guys 10% off your purchase. They do have a whole line of lashes on their website. They have a whole brush line as well. It comes in this cool little pack. They have a whole liquid lip line, which I actually did a video on, which I'll link down below. They also have an eyeshadow base, and they're just really rolling out with some really cool stuff. And I really love working with this brand and seeing how far they've come, where they're going, what type of palettes they're going to create. Like, I'm always talking about new palettes, like, oh, I wish Alter Ego would create a dupe for this. That'd be so cool. Like, I hope that Alter Ego creates a dupe for the Natasha Denona bronze palette. That'd be great. Hint, hint, hint. So, yeah, guys, that is it for today's video, guys. If you guys like this video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, so I do post every day, every other day, just depending. Also, make sure you guys head on over to my other channels, R for the Life. You guys can see my cool, wonderful adventures, amazing fiance, Corey. And as always, guys, I want to thank you guys for all your love and support. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Bye! We're going to be reviewing the new... I am so excited to announce, but we are going to be reviewing the new Shop a Bunch of eyeshadow with a bunch. It is an affiliate code, so I do make a small... No. This is super similar to the Natasha Denona... Metropolis... Natasha Denona... Natasha Denona... Natasha Denona... Natasha Denona... Natasha Denona, Natasha Denona. So I'm extremely grateful that I'm extremely oh my god.